SD card. You should be good.
Cool.
You're on the air.
Cool.
Just triple check. Recording.
Whoop-de-whoop.
Awesome.
All right, you know what to do if you need to pause it or whatever. And let me know if
All
you
right.
need a hand.
All right,
Thank
thanks
you.
a lot.
Let me just put this away. Can you take all your things?
Welcome. We're just going to get here and set up real quick. Can I leave my shades and coffee on there? Or should everything come off?
Like the coffee's fine. Why do you need your shades there?
So people can kind of, find out I always got 2 shades on me.
You don't always. And I think that I would say no. It's cleaner without it.
Dear God, thank you for your blessings. Thank you for the opportunity to record this. We ask that, everything go well. Give us the right words to speak to the masses, to change, educate, and empower the masses. I'm grateful for the opportunity and the platform. Talk and move through us. Amen.
Amen.
So you said both the drink and the coffee are off, or just the shades? Oh wow, that looks. You want me to take this off? I got my shades right here. Yeah.
I feel like a middle school girl.
Yeah.
Or at least how middle school girls be acting.
Combing their hair.
Just coming to class. Getting prepared. Okay. Shit, I had my phone.
We not doing where's the other camera?
Huh? We're not. No.
Okay.
We go back and forth. Like, we don't have someone to do that.
No, I mean the.
Oh, I thought you said there was no point.
Because it doesn't get us both.
Yeah, it doesn't get us both this way. It can this way, but like.
Oh, we already had that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you said, behind the scenes, if you wanted to from the side, like right here, maybe.
Maybe.
We can do that at the end.
Yeah, and like I could shoot like a pretend behind the scenes because like shoot 40 minutes of like behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Check
so,
me out. My glass is clean. Just wipe them.
Can you wipe my glasses on you too? My shirt's not good for that.
It's mine. It's 100% cotton.
This is? Where'd you get this shirt? H&M. Champs. I don't remember if it was a dream or real life. I feel like I was with Marley or something like that. I was trying to hold some things and my glasses lens was popping out. Or was I drunk?
That might have happened.
Let me see your glasses. Come here. Okay.
All this stuff found its way back on the desk. Okay.
There's like, you can put it over there. Like, you don't have to hold it in your hand. Also, like, you got pockets, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. So we're going to...
We got the SD card in there.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about... We're going to introduce ourselves.
We can moderate it.
Huh?
You can moderate it.
Yeah, I want to. Please. Thank you.
But, so we can just start, right? Oh, are you giving us?
Get my drink. You always drinking somebody's drink, bro.
Have you seen the comment to those things like my my stay-at-home husband? I've started sending them to you.
Oh, you sent one to me. I was like, what is this?
But do you look at the? But do you see the comments?
I mean, it's really funny. Yeah. Yeah.
I know. I just see it. It's like, oh, sheet. Like.
I'm hoping she'll like notice my haircut.
Well, that or like, not so much that one. Like, I'm the man of this house. I whispered as I mowed the lawn. Like, I don't have to put up with this. I journal. I write in my journal before and put it under my bed. But there's so many dudes in the comments that are popping in like, "This is the dream life," you know.
Yeah.
And the girl who wrote it is shocked too. It's like just this whole. It's like the police. All right, we can get back to it.
I mean, it's fine. It's
It's like them police episodes
Mm-hmm.
of. You've seen the TikToks where the guy's like, "Officer."
Oh, those ones are so effed up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's me pulling out, me jumping out with the thing, telling him I can't go back because my car is in park. It's like jumping out, yelling to the officer, I can't go back, to let him know that my car is in park.
Oh my god. I haven't seen that. But
Stuff
I've
like
seen
that.
the one
Well,
where
those are
they're
the
like
comments.
pulling stuff out. Oh yeah,
just
yeah,
pulling
yeah.
out, but all is like the thing is the whole comment section is
Mhm.
that, and that's what I
Yeah.
think that thing is. Like the whole comment section is people saying, you know, we'll show her next time. I say across the yard
Yeah.
at a low whisper, or like to the other husbands in the group chat. It's just funny. to
Okay.
me.
It is funny.
You know, I'm a comment section kind of person. I spend
Yeah.
a lot of time in those comment sections. Like, it's funnier than the actual post.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
welcome.
welcome to
The Fan Frequency Productions Podcast.
yeah.
Yeah. And we'll have a sexier name for maybe. But
Fan Frequency Podcast. Yeah. Something like that.
yeah. Cool.
So just to kick off our first episode, we are going to let y'all know a little bit about ourselves. So without further delay, introducing Jonathan Edwards. Is that fine with your government?
Full name. We'll edit
Okay.
that out. But yes, DJ J Ed, aka Jonathan, producer, music artist, educator, management consultant, and now podcast host.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Originally Roanoke, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
And
I went to school up in Rhode Island. Then I came down to Philadelphia for work. Went to Baltimore for 3 years for work. Came back to Philadelphia for work. Had a son. So I think I'm, Philadelphia for life. I won't say for life, but,
for
at least
life.
a long time. At least the next 5 years.
Bonded. Cool. And what's your connection to music?
I said I'm a producer, engineer, artist.
Oh.
Did you miss that?
No, I didn't know if there was like historical context to that. But you just
Like what instruments did I play or something like that?
I mean,
I played the trumpet in like band. I think we picked the instrument in 4th grade, and I
Mhm.
stayed with it through 8th grade.
mm-hmm.
I played football, so I would be in the band and
Mhm.
play. Like I could come out, but in high school you couldn't do both. Or maybe you could, but I didn't. I played the
Oh.
guitar for church.
Wow, you couldn't do both in high school?
I guess you could, but not during like how you're gonna play and be in the band
For sure.
football game.
That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like jazz band or something.
Oh,
Maybe.
yeah. Oh, and you, who are you?
Me? My name is Lanisha. People who know me well call me Nisha. Those who don't probably don't. And those who know me as an artist know me as Rugrat Nami, only the most phenomenal R and alternative
Where does
psychedelic
that name
R&B.
come from?
Rugrat Nami.
Yeah.
Whoa. So I'm
Are you
actually
checking your notes?
Yes, I am checking my notes.
Tell you where your name comes from.
No, I just want to make sure I hit all the points. Name, birthplace, and what you're doing right now is accelerating me to my connection to music.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. We don't gotta go in order. But yeah, Rugrat Nami. The name comes from a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine. Shout out to Ravi, who one day I was dancing and had a dance crew in college, bad company, and I was just doing something foolish as I'm normally doing, and he was like, "Ah, "You're such a rugrat," and I was like, "Oh, rugrat." And since then, I was just like, "That's my name."
Is it any Rugrat in particular, or are you just like a Rugrat like the cartoon, or is there a different context?
I'm a rugrat, like the word, like the noun, like a rugrat. Rugrat activities. Similar
I
to.
just think of the cartoon. I thought that term was verbed from the cartoon. So
Mm-mm,
if you're
that's
a
a word.
Rugrat and you're a badass kid, you're just like Angelica, the Rugrat,
Mm.
the twins.
But none of them kids are really
Yes,
bad.
they are. Angelica's bad.
Angelica's bad.
The twins are
The
bad.
twins are twins.
Tommy's like, you know,
Tommy's just adventurous.
yeah. But when I hear Rugrats, that
Mhm.
kid who was like, I like to be out and do hood rat stuff with my friends. Like,
Mhm.
that's a Rugrat.
Yeah, that's a rugrat, and I would say
Little bad kid.
a rugrat is not a little bad kid. A rugrat is a kid who's doing maybe, I don't want to say dumb things, but it's just doing rugrat things.
So what was it you were doing? You were doing a dance move?
I was probably doing something, yeah, just foolish looking, like probably upside down or something like that, being in somebody's face. A rugrat is like your little, your younger sibling who wants to come and hang out
Mm,
while y'all are doing things that the younger sibling shouldn't be around.
hmm.
So now you're just maybe perhaps a little bit annoying, but the rugrats also like not scared of hurting themselves or doing something that other people would be, frightened to do
Hmm.
because you're a rugrat. And then the Nanami part I added because I was like, I need something a little bit more grown now that I'm getting older. And Nami's the wave. So,
Cool, cool.
yeah.
Nami is the wave.
Mhm.
The Nami means wave in Japanese or something.
Maybe. I have no clue. Tsunami is a big old wave.
Oh yeah,
So if Su means big, then that would make sense. But I have
yeah.
no clue.
Well, yeah, that's us. Fan Frequency Productions. We are a music-based nonprofit here in Philadelphia. We teach music and entrepreneurship. We help young producers and engineers earn streams of income. We teach music production, audio engineering through FL Studio. We also teach marketing, branding, um, partnerships, really financial management, business planning, and we are creating this show because we love music, and want this to also be a resource for people doing just that, who are musicians, producers, trying to make money through that craft.
Yes. And I just wanted to add, not to go back, but a little couple other things, right? I am a music producer. I didn't say any of that stuff, so that's all right. I'm a music producer. I'm also a dancer. I would describe myself as a creative. I have not come yet to a creative challenge that I cannot accomplish. So there's that. Also, part of Fan Frequency Productions, and born and raised in Mooresville, Pennsylvania.
CMO
CMO,
and co-founder,
CMO and co-founder, and a
lead
creative
instructor,
lead instructor. Yes, yes,
in charge of the marketing
yes. In charge of the marketing.
instruction.
Probably put together this little clip you about to see. And I've lived in Pennsylvania my whole life. Love Philadelphia. Been here for a minute now. And that's it. That's my intro.
Cool. So, what are we talking about today?
So first up, we have making it in music these days, 2024. So, topic number 1, streaming versus album sales.
Streaming versus album sales. All right, so we're talking about how to make it in being an artist in 2024. So you're a music artist, you're a producer, you play an instrument, whatever it is, you are trying to make it in music in 2024. It's an interesting topic that we want to talk about because I think it's very different. I see a lot of times comparisons to how the music industry used to be, and there'll be negative comparisons like musicians just can't make a living nowadays because of the change. And so we wanted to talk about that. I don't fully subscribe to that. I think there's pros and cons, and I think we just want to talk about resources for artists, just the landscape as we see it, and yeah. So specifically streaming, I think it's interesting because we see all of the data around streams, and artists are like, what is a stream? It's not as concrete as album sales, right? Back in the day, you go to the CD store, buy the CD, that counts as a unit. It's $12.99. That's toward that 100,000 sales that makes the album bronze, and then million that makes it gold or platinum or whatever. Uh, and that was a very concrete thing. And people like that. Streams is more, there is a dollar value attached to the streams, but it's not like a decimal. It's not like one stream is 1 cent, right? It's a fraction. Um, and that split between just like the same album sales, the person who made the music, the person who owns the publishing or company that owns the publishing, um, and the royalties are also split in that way. So yeah, it's a different landscape. And recently, there's also the conversation from Spotify to not pay out any artist that gets under 1,000 streams on a song. So they're not going to pay a song that gets under 1,000 streams on Spotify, which I think correlates to like 11 cents. So, and a lot of people are saying that's not fair. It's impossible to make it as an artist, and that sort of thing.
Well, to anybody who says it's impossible to make it as an artist, your art probably wasn't good.
Wow. What about, yeah?
It's not impossible. That's a wild statement to say. First of all, fix your mindset. Perhaps you need to have a growth mindset.
Yeah, something we preach.
But
Even know what that means.
I think now versus back then, I think the ability to enter into the game, right, is a lot easier. There's a lot lower barrier to entry through streaming. And what that means is you can't really be half stepping on what you're doing. Like, it has to be high quality.
Barrier to entry, no barrier to entry because anybody can make a song and put it on DistroKid.
Absolutely.
Back in the day, you had to have a deal. Or if you were an independent artist, it was still a lot of money. You went to the studio, had to get a publishing deal, or you're out in the streets selling the actual burned CDs. That was the independent way. Now, not Spotify. You had to be out there. So,
and nobody right, like, I guess, like, somebody, if somebody heard your music, they'd be recommending it, to somebody else. But with Spotify, like, it has a whole algorithm. Like, I hear new music because it recommends it to me daily, multiple songs, multiple artists daily, versus if I'm, if I'm getting my hair done or whatever, and someone comes up talking about they selling me CDs, I don't know you. I don't know the song. You gonna play it? Like,
isn't that crazy though? Like, people did get put on through barbershop mixtapes and handing out CDs after shows. Like, and I grew up in that era where I've been handed many a CD while minding my business while out or at a show. And, a lot of times you don't even listen to it.
Oh, really?
You do.
Were you, like, around? Because when I was younger, before I was going out to shows or anything like that, I remember that happening. But by the time I was in high school, nobody's handing out CDs anymore.
Yeah, because okay.
Yeah.
People still hand out CDs. Some people still hand out.
I would. That sounds like a great marketing, tactic because it's different. Nobody else is doing it.
But do cars, like
accept CDs?
Yeah, like
people need to start handing out USB drives with C ports.
It's just a lot of work. On that USB drive should be a link to your Spotify page too. That you can just QR.
Or you can just hand out stickers.
Yeah. But sorry, I interrupted you. You know, streaming, lower
Mhm.
barrier to entry.
Yeah, a lower barrier to entry. So what that really means is you have to have a good quality product. I'm not just the amount of CDs at my disposal back then versus the amount of music at my disposal right now. You got to give me a reason to want to listen to you. And part of that, yeah, part of that's the most important part is the quality of the music, right? And then the second part is really the quality of the story or the marketing, right? I might not be interested in you as an artist, but if you have a really good story or if you have a really good rollout, which to me is the same thing as a story, it's just who's the center of attention is different. Um, I'm gonna check you out. I might just root for you just because I like your style, I like your story, I like the way you present yourself, I see myself in you, da 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 da. I might not like your music. I recognize it for being high quality. Don't come with trash now, but
Well, hold on. So you saying that that's a reason that music now is better or worse? Like, you know,
it's
you
not
always
necessarily better or worse. I'm just answering the question of it's harder or it's
you saying you just
impossible
have to be
or
good at you have to market yourself well.
you have to market yourself well, but most importantly, you have to have good music. Like a lot of people complain and it's like,
Well, we're not talking. Let's not even talk about them.
mhm.
Let's leave them out of the
So the people
conversation.
with the good music, you like first of all, if I can't find your music, who can find your music? You know? Second of all, if I go on like let's say that you do have it
You can't
distributed.
find it. Like it's not on Spotify.
Like if you're releasing music like on SoundCloud, no shade, or on
I don't
strictly
want
SoundCloud, strictly Bandcamp, or just on YouTube,
to.
you're not giving people an opportunity to discover you.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about them either. So
Okay.
it's people on Spotify who are making good
hmm
music who are complaining.
People who are on Spotify who are making good music, high quality music, we're assuming this, who are complaining are not fully playing the game. Probably. If you do anything, this is my opinion, if you do anything for 4 years, you're going to get traction. That's like my benchmark. My benchmark is regular college or university. 4 years to be decent enough to call yourself a professional, right? And part of that with the music is you have to be entrepreneurial about it. So if you're just releasing music with no follow up, there's no you're not pushing the product out, you're not pulling people in. Like this is a basic thing that you need to sell. If I were
So
to
they're
go
not
out,
marketing is what you're saying. They're not marketing. These
I
people
mean, yes,
aren't
I'm
marketing.
not marketing. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They're not marketing it. They're not
Mhm.
putting it in front. Like if you got good music and you're on Spotify and you're complaining, like you said, people. I thought when you said I can't find it, you were just like, how am I, Jonathan, in Philly, going to find out about you, Chris,
Mhm.
making um, acid jazz fusion of rap in New Orleans?
Yeah.
And the only way is through marketing, and that's yeah.
Yeah. If you're not pushing
And
it,
does that cost money? Do you got to put money up?
no. And yes, you can, but you don't have to, right? And I think with
Because that's what some people would say is like on the independent side is they think it's they got to pay to get any traction.
yeah,
Oh, I don't got a budget. I'm an independent artist.
you do, money buys time, and time is your most expensive product that you could provide as a human, every human.
Time,
Time.
yeah. But yes, go ahead. I don't even cut out.
Yeah, so, if you don't have time, spend money.
Yeah, I think at a certain point you're gonna need money anyway. Like I don't
Mhm.
if you call yourself a professional, you want to make money from this. There's a few people who are gonna go viral, and we know one just like making a song, boom, viral, first song. But you still the time you put into singing, putting the song together, paying somebody for the beat or something. Like it's very rare gonna spend no money. But that even story is very rare. Like you're spending money on the video
Mhm.
or on getting the skills or the camera itself, something. Or you're paying these distribution to do
Mhm.
the article. Or can you, if it's you have connections at Spotify, can you put my song on the top of this playlist?
Mhm.
put my picture up here. Like m- money is something that, like, if you say this is something I'm gonna make money from, you have to be comfortable with putting money into it.
Mhm.
And I think some people, like, if yeah, you're complaining about not getting paid under 1,000 streams, like, why? They're just kind of showing where your focus is. Like, if that is me, my focus is on getting, because 1,000 streams still 11 cents. What was I gonna do with that 11 cents?
Mhm.
Seem like my problem is how do I get more than 1,000 streams? That's what I'd be worried
Yeah.
about. Not
Yeah.
like, oh, I can't believe they did this,
Yeah.
because theoretically they're making that so that all of those 1,000 cents. I think there's something crazy like 60% of the songs released have one stream or less, and people are like, wow, it's crazy because like you didn't even stream your own song, and so Spotify is still for that stream, like trying to divide that and
Mhm.
that money is sitting into the distro because you go on your distro service, submit the song, when the royalties come in through distro and a bunch of other platforms where you get like royalties and publishing, the money sits there until it hits a certain amount that you can take out. So these people under 1,000 streams, they can't even take it out, sitting there, never used. And these artists who are getting, you know, 100,000 streams are getting less money because all that money's sitting down here. So I think it's a good choice by Spotify. I think it's smart to actually reward. And I got in trouble for saying this, artists who take themselves seriously and are serious about their craft. If you're serious about your craft in some type of way, eventually, and I might be wrong and I might be privileged and I don't know, but you're gonna get 1,000 streams eventually, right? If it's good and you're taking it seriously,
Yeah. I mean, if it's good and you're taking it seriously, you
either
should,
marketing hard or
or
putting some money up.
yeah, you should get 1,000, at least 1,000. I will say that you don't have to have a lot of streams or a lot of monthly listeners or whatever to be a professional,
Right.
because there are lots of people, especially like within the cultures of like bands and stuff like that. People aren't really listening to their, like, some people are, but especially if you're a band that's consistently putting out like live albums, people come to you for the show.
Hmm.
So you're making money that way.
Or you might be a producer,
Mhm.
and so you technically have no stream. Like your streams wouldn't be
Mhm.
1,000, but like you're just getting points on a bunch of different.
But that guy or chick or whatever, probably not crying over this.
Yeah. It's that you're upset that Spotify did that instead of figuring out, okay, because you hear that and you're like, all right, how do I get over 1,000? It's not a crazy barrier. If they said 100,000, then I think a lot more people would be like, damn, that's a real, you got to be like kind of really on it and maybe
Mhm.
spend some money or like have a viral moment for every one of your songs over 100,000 streams. But 1,000, I don't know.
I think you could get. I think this is my opinion. I think if anybody works hard enough, can get 1,000 streams, um, w- and spend $100 or less.
Yeah, we've
Mhm.
done it
Mhm.
many times.
Mhm.
Yes.
So it's just really,
You don't need to spend any. Yeah, $1,000, $100 or less. Yeah, if yeah,
and I wouldn't even say that $100 is put into advertising. Maybe like if you did, I'd say 35 of those dollars, but
yeah, and if
65 of the
if
rest.
you're really good at Instagram, TikTok,
Mhm.
and you just do a TikTok a day and it's
Zero
good
dot
and it
zero
goes,
zero.
you can spend no money.
The cost is your phone bill and some Wi-Fi.
Which, if you're doing this officially, your LLC, are all things you can write off as business expenses.
Mhm.
So not even.
Mhm.
Um, But I think, and that's so barrier to entry, that's a thing that now I'd say is better, right? It's better. Anybody can make it. We know people who've made a song and they're nobody one day and the next day. That story 30 years ago was I was performing in this bar and an agent
Mhm.
stumbled in and discovered me and signed me. Or
Mhm.
J. Cole, I rapped in front of Jay-Z's office for
Mhm.
4 weeks. Like that's what it had to be. Now it's like just
Yo,
make a
that's what
couple
he
good
did.
videos.
That's wild.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. They approach rappers in the street and just rap
Mhm.
to them like,
Yeah, but
sign me,
outside
sign
the
me.
office for 4 weeks. That's
Yeah, J Cole camped outside
That's
New York.
perfect. That's genius. And that's like another example of like you don't and I don't know, what his money was, but you don't need money, you just need time. He had time. He had 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "I'm gonna make it in 4 weeks."
Mm-hmm. But it takes that mentality, and I think that's what it is. So if J. Cole grew up in that era, or this era, or the next era, he's gonna make it because he had the mentality. I'm gonna do what it takes because I believe in the music. At this point, right? He wouldn't do that if he didn't. If his music was trash, and people might do that. People do that, and the music is trash. They do it halfway, right? You walk down the street, somebody's gonna come up to you. Let me rap to you real quick. Let me rap. And it's cool. You got a talent. You believe in yourself.
So does everybody else. So
Yeah, yeah. But who I'm willing to go to find out where Jay-Z works and go to his office and do this. Jay-Z probably maybe wasn't even feeling the music. But it's like,
please get off my doorstep.
yeah, but it's like, wow, this guy's willing to do this. I see, people, bigger producers, like little producers are always, not little, up and coming, reach out to big producers like, hey, I want to work with you on this and this. And they say, like, first thing I do, I look at their page. It's not like I listen to their music. I look at their page and I see, are they consistently like putting on for themselves? Are they pushing themselves? They might just listen to the beat and it's just like, oh my God, that's the craziest thing I ever heard. But it's something new, right? But it's easier to see that if I could see that. That's an interesting person. Wow, that's an interesting sound. And look how they're pushing it. Like, all right, I can get behind this because I know he's going to put himself on. All of us have worked with somebody where it's like the talent's there, but when it's time to like push the song or do the other part, do the legwork, I'm not interested in that. I just wanted to have fun and, spit off the bars. Man.
And that's the wild thing because there's really like I can't think of any other professions because people will get upset and be like, "Why do I have to do this? Why do I have to do that? Like, let my music speak for itself." Da, 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 da. I don't see any other professions where people just hire you just off the strength of you sounded good this one time. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, yeah, unless you're working, yeah.
unless
If
you're
you're doing
working
9 to
where?
5 maybe, and you just had a good interview.
No, but they had to check out a resume.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, so to think that you can have an empty, and it works for some people.
Well,
If you want to be 1 in a million, go ahead.
yeah.
But to think that you could just have an empty resume,
Oh yeah, and so your resume is like your
your
digital
Instagram
image,
page
your
or your
Instagram.
website or whatever. But to think that you could just off the strength of like, you know what I mean? This isn't all like the pursuit of happiness where I'm just doing a Rubik's cube in the back of a car. Like people
Yeah.
had to see something. Those chances are 1 in a million, and congrats to those. But you leaving your life up to chance?
Yeah, and that's it. That's what we say. You have to say I'm gonna be an entrepreneur. I'm not a music artist. I am a music artist and I'm an entrepreneur. Like I have to figure this out because maybe somebody will care about you and they'll find you and put you on and take a lot of your money to do that. But most likely, and where stuff is trending, everybody that you see, they put themselves in that routine. Like they made sure people are gonna see it. I'm gonna make sure you see it. And we see people who already made it, or maybe some, like I don't know. We'll look at people who are mysterious and artsy, and we'll look at that and be like, well, I don't want to post. I want to be, it might be fear of putting yourself out there, whatever. Not
I
realizing,
like that a lot. Yeah.
yeah, people they are either they already made it. Like Yeet can afford to or Kendrick Lamar, Jay-Z, not be on there, not post. It's cool, but like they've put themselves on in other ways. They certainly weren't cool their whole career, too cool to like promote themselves. And it doesn't mean you gotta do stuff every day, but like however you do it, it needs to be good. That doesn't mean you spend a lot of time. Doesn't mean it had to be planned, but it's got to be something that people are gonna look at and be like, "Oh wow, I want to listen to this music or learn more about the person."
And but even then, right? When it comes to selling anything, right? I would say for me in marketing, it's like the overall thing is like how are you either pushing the product or how are you pulling people in,
Yeah.
right? You can sum up marketing, I think, with just that. That is all of marketing. How are you pushing people or how are you pulling them in? So it's like even them when it's time to put the product out, they're pushing and pulling in some way. If it's
Ooh.
any artist,
Okay.
even if it's not necessarily on their page or whatever, you hear about them, for example, in an interview or pushing this or that. I think
Yeah.
about, Kanye's page is empty most of the time,
Mm-hmm.
except for when he's pushing something.
Oh, and he don't even need to. Like, he's gonna run for president before he drops. What was it? Was
Mhm.
that the gospel album?
Mhm.
Or was it? I forget what it is, but
And
it's
he
like I
wasn't.
don't care. I'm gonna make the gospel,
Mhm.
album. And I don't want to say all of it, but he was like, I gotta stop taking the meds to be creative. But that was the same time that he's saying slavery's a choice and like
Mhm.
whatever it is, he's all over the news. Then he drops an album, or
Mhm.
then he drops a line of Yeezy.
Mhm.
So like, no, he didn't need to be on there saying, "Hey, I just made the song of the summer,"
Mhm.
because we see it. Oh my God, Kanye, and then boom, album.
Mhm.
Beyonce didn't need to make a post about that shit. I just
Mhm.
get on the Super Bowl, and
And she
I'm
didn't
gonna have
even.
someone pay me to do a commercial and then just drop that on y'all, just knowing
And
I'm gonna
it,
just whisper it at the end.
yeah, she. It was like one little line. It was like, I'm gonna see what's next or something like that.
I
Because
think
they
he
were talking
said,
about breaking the internet.
yeah, but then she said, I think she said when the shit was taken off, she was like, drop the album. You said
Yeah.
that.
Oh, that's what she said.
Yeah, she said it. I think you were like, you hear that? You hear that? She said, drop the album.
Yes, yes. And it was just like
Right.
one line, but like the fact that she was on there, like it already pulled me in. She didn't have to say, "Hey guys, go ahead to the link in my bio and no."
And yeah, and it's funny because when I'm looking at the Spotify, I think that song technically actually dropped the day before,
Mhm.
but nobody listened to it.
Yep.
Nobody even knew it was there. But then after the Super Bowl, everybody. She
Yep.
didn't need to say a word.
Mhm.
Song dropping, she just knew that commercial was coming. So probably like for the first 24 hours, it got some random streams
Mhm.
of people who, I mean, I guess probably a lot of people were on Beyonce's page and saw late release. But yeah,
Yeah.
so cool. Buried entry. I think the other thing back to, were you finished with?
I got nothing. Go
Okay.
ahead.
The benefit to making music now, what I think is a big plus,
Mhm.
is just the system of royalties, because of royalties haven't changed necessarily, but streaming has changed the way people listen to music. And what I mean by that, I look at uh, somebody who was looking at yesterday, Dolly Parton, um, you know, is
Jonathan is looking up Dolly Parton right now.
15 million streams per month. 15 no no sorry 15 million monthly listeners per month, because she's a legend and the people who grew up listening to her are still listening to her, and new people are finding out about her through
Mhm.
TikTok or whatever to listen to her. That many streams, she's that's a retirement plan. She's got that money coming every month from stuff that she did, and she might still be making
Mhm.
stuff, but Gwen Stefani still making paper
Don't
off,
speak.
no doubt. And these are people making, streams. It adds up, and that's Spotify plus Apple plus YouTube. It adds up, and it's like a check that comes every month, because it's so easy for me to listen to a song from there. It's so easy for me to listen to the album. Back in the day, I gotta know a record play. I gotta go to the record shop and do all this shit,
Mhm.
and I don't even know how that's, what's that process for tying that money in from the record shop and getting it back to. Well, I guess they probably did that when they bought the record, but yeah, it's not as many people were going back. Like Dolly Parton, I'd hear about, and maybe get on Napster, maybe download something, because that was my time. But like, think about even before then, when you didn't have it, you'd have to buy the
Napster was
CD.
around the same time as Rhapsody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Napster was illegal at first though, and LimeWire
Yeah.
illegal
LimeWire was
downloads.
me.
But that's the beginning. That was the
Yeah.
beginning of the streaming, and we could get it.
Ooh, Lauren. Sorry.
You got a LimeWire store?
Huh? I don't have a LimeWire story. I was just exclaiming.
Yeah, it's just so much easier, so much harder to get those royalties because it was a barrier. Like I had to
Mhm.
be really into the music. Now somebody could say, "Oh, you heard of Dolly Parton? Oh shit, check her out." Might
Mhm.
just listen to a whole bunch of albums. It's very easy for older people to keep in contact. So I think it creates a much more consistent, uh, sort of source of passive income after that. Like all you gotta do, make a couple hits, couple hit albums in your prime, and they should pay you for the rest of your life. They should
Mhm.
pay your family for the rest of their life. And I think that's emphasized with the streaming, and they're still figuring stuff out. In terms of splits, if you're an independent artist, those numbers for like Dolly Parton, these folks, a lot of them are just getting percentages of those sales. So like these independent artists who are doing well right now and are making timeless music are setting themselves up a retirement account. They really are,
Well, the
if they have their
question
stuff in
is,
order.
you know, we talk about high quality music. You're talking about timeless music. I would say the con is like how many timeless songs have been made? How many classics have been made in the last 5, 10 years?
I think that's subjective. Like I would say, I don't know, 5, 10 years. What would you consider that song? All gold, everything. Gold all on my chain.
When was that made?
I don't know, but is that a timeless song to you?
Is it a timeless song?
What about Crank That Soldier
Hold on.
Boy?
Timeless?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Classic? Maybe. And what I'm saying by classic is I'm trying to think of songs that
Because that's the only song that I know from him, Trinidad James.
yeah.
And he got 500,000 monthly listeners
When did that song come out?
from that song. 46 million plays.
When did that song come out?
2013.
2013. So it was
10
a
years
little
ago,
over
11
10
years ago.
When did Check West's song come out?
Mo Bamba. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah. Oh, sorry. Hold on. 2018.
2018. I would say for me, I think that song more so is a classic because I think that I think both of them are. I think that hit a wider range, but the point I'm trying to say is I don't feel like a lot over the last 5 to 10 years.
6 million. Check West, 6 million monthly listeners.
Okay, but I'm saying like when it comes to uh creating classics, I just don't feel like year over year there's as many songs.
I think that's subjective.
You think that's subjective?
Yeah, because you're not at the age where you're listening to music all the time. So
Mhm.
there's gonna be you're also not in
But if it's a
college where you're
classic,
out
is
at the
everyone's
club.
gonna hear it. Everyone's gonna know it. Like that's
Um,
not like and I don't know. I'm just making up definitions of what classic
a
is
lot
right
of people
now.
don't
But
know.
like,
I would say Yeet. Sorry about that. It could be considered a classic, but a lot of people my age don't even know that song. The kids all know that song. It's a classic to them.
oh, I don't know. Okay.
Yeet is a elite artist to a large group of a lot of people my age don't even know who that is.
Yeah.
So I think it's hard to judge classics being bad. I would
Mhm.
say, even with the viral stuff and like joke songs, like
And that's the other thing I'll say is though I feel like a lot of the viral stuff. There's a lot of viral stuff. There's something going viral every day.
she's a runner, she's a track star.
Mhm.
Is that a classic? That song probably pay him for the rest of it.
No, I'm gonna say no.
But because of that viral moment,
I think that song was viral. I don't think it's a classic. I think there are a lot of viral songs these days, and not as many classics. Whereas opposed to back then, if a song was viral, it was a classic.
yes,
In my opinion.
yeah. All to say though, like it's to me that makes the streaming. It's an advantage, and all of this stuff you can sit there and look at it like, oh, it's so hard, but the people doing that, and I'm not gonna say the people doing it because James Blake just came out with an article. Um, I had was looking at it. Um, let me pull this up. Not the article, but I just screenshot a part of it.
Mhm.
Uh, and he's successful. He is a successful producer, artist. And he said regarding the streaming system, if we want quality music, somebody has to pay for it. He said, explaining the waning options for making. Oh, sorry. If we want quality music, somebody is going to have to pay for it. He said, explaining the waning options for making money. Streaming services don't pay properly. Labels want a bigger cut than ever and just sit and wait for you to go viral. TikTok doesn't pay properly, and touring is getting prohibitively expensive for most artists. Right.
I'm kind of.
So he is. I'm just pointing at him because he is someone who he's not like this person under 1,000 streams who's just complaining. Like he has success, but he's saying
I hear that,
it's not fair.
but I also like I couldn't have you read that without me roll my eyes a little
And
bit.
he's white.
Like
And why did I say that?
but
No real. I mean, right? He's white.
there's a privilege that comes with whiteness. So like, let's just be real about that.
Yes, and music, popular American music is rooted in blackface, minstrelsy. Black people have always been in entertainment. That sports everything. Taken advantage of in terms of the corporation is making a lot more money than the entertainment. That's just how it is. So him saying it's real, but we've been known that, and it kind of feels like let's give them the like, yeah, you know, let's do something about it. Let's take down. But that's
But
what I'm saying.
can you
Independent
go ahead and read the points that he made again? Because I just feel like
streaming services don't pay properly.
mm-hmm,
Labels want a bigger cut than ever, and just sit and wait for you to go viral.
mm-hmm.
TikTok doesn't pay properly, so I guess he's saying like the labels aren't really pushing your music either. They're just
But
like
that
go
was always
viral.
the case. They were always buying up, you know, always signing artists or whatever, and people were always talking about, oh, I'm waiting for my music to drop, waiting for the music to drop,
Yeah,
but everybody got
for
their
sure.
hands tied. Or da, da, da. That's not changed.
Yeah, and so many artists then like complaining about their deals and stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
you got people like Russell sharing knowledge and really bucking the system, just distributing stuff.
Artists want to, like, labels want a bigger cut than ever. Like, realistically, they're just probably trying to get back to the margins they were at before because
'Cause everybody's talking about it.
exactly. There was a time where like people were just like signing everything away
Hmm.
and not even batting an eye.
Hmm. Yeah,
It
and
just
they're
sounds
probably
like
giving them
he.
better rights. Yeah, like who's he negotiating with? Because what I've heard, I've heard the trend is deals are getting better. You got people like shout out Jason Berger, um,
Mm-hmm.
uh, entertainment lawyer, works with a lot of artists here. Did a session with our students breaking down the artist and producer rights and payment and publishing. Like they're having these conversations. We'll never say don't take a deal. Or look at the camera. We'll never say don't take a deal
Mm-hmm.
because it's much more complicated than that. Someone like LaRussell can say, I haven't yet decided to go independent. Um, Russell has, you know, a million something followers on Instagram and an entire team that follows him with a camera.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
he has a foundation of, he has a venue. He's built himself in a way that the $500,000 advance the label would give him for rights of his music over the next X years, he doesn't need that boost. And when he gets to a point where he feels like he does, maybe he'll take the deal. But if I've been making music, you know, out my mom's basement for the past 2 summers, and you know I'm working at Wendy's, and the label says for $800,000, we want the rights to your music. Back in the day, someone would be like, "Okay, yes," and they'll take the 800,000 and be
Mm-hmm.
like, "All right, I needed that boost. I can always make more money," and that's what those deals would go into perpetuity or whatever the word
Mm-hmm.
is. Now as Jason would say to him, like, you got to really sit and think about where you are at. Because signing away your publishing for 3 years, and you say, all right, everything I make in these next 3 years, you're going to get a cut of it. Um, and that's going to be true until 5 years. And then 5 years, it all comes back to me. Like, those are the deals people are structuring now. And you might be like, it's worth it because I think I make timeless music. So I'm going to lose out on this up front. But I'm going to be able to buy me a house. I'm going to be able to buy me some security, put my family in a, you know, just
Mm-hmm.
create more security around my life so I can make this music and really treat it as a career. You know, in no other business do they ask you to just work for free for 5 years and then just, you know, make it, you're always getting paid for what you do. So some deals can be good. And I think that people are smarter now and they're not signing away those deals. Back in the
Mm-hmm.
day, very predatory. This is somebody who's 17 years old. Um, and maybe never had a lot of money and they're looking at those numbers, they'll sign away all sorts of contracts, not
Mm-hmm.
all sorts of rights. So I think the deals should be getting better. So I don't know. James Blake probably needs to talk to his
Yeah, I don't
attorney.
know. I don't know who he's talking to, but I would also just like venture just like, and I don't know what deals or contracts he's kind of set in stone with, but like, uh, I feel like at a certain amount of money, a certain amount of success, you can go independent. So I don't know
Yeah,
what you
like
complain about.
Beyonce could go independent right now.
Yeah, it's the choice not to, which is perfectly
Drake could
fine.
go independent right now.
Which is
I don't need
perfectly fine. You being in charge of all your stuff is very, very stressful.
him. Some people don't need that. Music, a lot of people are treating music as a job. Um, Not in the sense that, oh, I'm just doing this for a paycheck, but like, this is going to be the thing to provide my security and give me the platform to do the other things. We talk about the billionaires and the black billionaires. The list came out, and I was surprised at how many of them are from entertainment. So you know, Michael Jordan is one. Uh, Kanye West, I think, might have bumped off. Rihanna, Diddy, Jay Z. Like so many people were on there for music, but they didn't make their $1 billion from music. Made
Mhm.
a small portion of that from music, but they went and used it as a platform. Because once you have a brand, you can make a lot of money.
Mhm.
Rihanna is Fenty, Kanye is Yeezy, Jay-Z
Mm.
is the NFL and the art, and
The
I forget what Duce,
investments.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Diddy is Ciroc, 50 is vitamin water. Like it was the
Mm-hmm.
other things that you used your brand to do to get the money. But so a label's fine to Kanye. I mean, like, yeah, man, I get this much from my album because I know that I'm going and doing these 10 pop ups, that each one of these pop ups is supposedly making $14 million. And
Mm-hmm.
I can do a $7 million Super Bowl commercial and make whatever it is from the things and text people. So, like, yeah, I think that's it too. Like, if you're, and that's fair. If you say, I'm just a musician and this is all I want to do for the rest of my life, maybe in that case, and you just
Mm-hmm.
look at not any other stream, maybe I would, yeah, of course, obviously advocate and argue for more rights and more pay,
Mm.
but these people at the top got to make their money too. Warner Brothers got to make their money. Spotify got to make their money.
And that's a good point, right? If you were, for example, just a guitarist, and I don't mean just, but
That's how it sounded. No, I get
no,
what you're saying
I
now.
get, but like if you only play the guitar and you are, for lack of better phrasing, stubborn about it, you're not into picking up any other skills, and you're like, this is the thing for me, then hallelujah, God bless you, and you should probably go pursue it and
and,
play in church
and get another job.
and get another
Get
job.
another job because you're treating it like a gig, and that's what it'll be.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep, you're treating it like a gig, and that's, as a music artist, I can say, for myself, for ourselves,
And I hope we don't
right?
upset the
The
musicians
guitarist
and whoever,
community.
because that is real. And
Unless you're a saxophone player,
what, they make a lot of money.
I just feel like you have a little bit more riz, so like maybe you can like book more higher
Negotiate.
end, like a guitar. Like I'm just talking out my butt, but like saxophone player, you can play different types of venues. A guitarist, you can too, but
Hmm.
it's a little.
You're still a gig though.
Mhm.
Still a gig economy.
Yeah.
Even if you're, I mean, that's not saying in a way like you could be a super great opera singer and there's a lot of money in opera, but like
Oh yeah.
I think you're still. I don't think you're on salary. I think you're still show to show, or
Oh
maybe
yeah.
you're hired per
Even
season.
as like an actor or actress, right? Like stepping broader into the entertainment industry.
Hmm.
They really are like, we look at them like, "Oh, you're on TV." Da, 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 da. They are one gig away from not being able to afford their mortgage.
Some of them, yeah,
A lot of them, especially if you're black.
but the movie stars, no.
The black movie stars,
I
which
think so.
ones?
I think if you land a big movie, like let's just say Keith Stanfield,
Mhm.
he's good.
He's
He's had like at least four like blockbuster. I don't know.
he's good. He's good, and I wonder if he, yeah, and I don't know really how the acting world works, but I wonder if he is also like someone who's more on the independent ish side of things. I don't know how that really works. But I was looking at an interview with um the dude, and I'm not great with names, but he's on Vogue, right? He is the basically like the announcer in like the ballroom or scene or whatever. Vogue is a really really popular Netflix show. Sorry, not Vogue, Pose. Really really popular.
I was like, I
Yeah,
never heard of him.
Vogue. No, but Pose is a really really huh?
Sorry,
Yeah.
Pose on Netflix.
Mhm. Really really popular Netflix series. Like I think like won awards and stuff like that and all that. And he was
Great
like
show. I've only seen
afterwards.
the first season, maybe the first two.
I think he said something like afterwards. Like at some point he was homeless for a little bit because like that check ran out
Mm.
and he wasn't getting, you know what I mean? And like that world is a whole nother thing because they need to work out how their royalty system works out with their actors and stuff like that. But
Issa Rae did say music is worse.
hmm
Yeah.
but all that to say, Issa Rae, right, someone who I don't consider to be one gig away from being homeless, is an actress, is a writer, is
I think
a
owns a
director,
yeah
owns a label.
like an executive producer, I believe.
Yep.
Owns a creative studio.
Like there's really no area of entertainment or creative entrepreneurship that I see where you can just be one thing
Hmm.
and
Or
and
if
have security.
yeah, if you are, then it's just like anything else. Then that's what you'll be. You'll be that role. So
And you can't not do
Apple,
that.
you will be. I don't know, man.
back end engineer, and maybe eventually you'll lead the team, and perhaps at some point you can reach a C-level executive, uh, um, spot, and then you'll have a nice check to retire to.
And that's smart. If you're gonna be one dimensional, not one dimensional, but like
One dimensional.
sorry. If you want to master one thing and have that be
Yes.
it, then music may not be it. It might be just in the corporate, that 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna do this, put my time in, do this job well, expand
Mhm.
my skills, grow my
Mhm.
network. It's a little
And
bit of all that to everything. You're still gonna have to put yourself on.
I think
Period.
a lot of that is important and it's great, and I think the 9 to 5 and I think the corporate world is absolutely amazing. I for myself,
Wow.
I think it is amazing. For for
It's just a funny thing to say. I think the 9 to 5 world is absolutely amazing.
I think it's amazing for those who are
It sounds like you're about to say something shady.
no, for those who are seeking immediate security. And I can't be
man.
shady about that because that
Security is nice.
was me. And coming from not necessarily having all the security that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I come from a generation where like college is heavily preached. Like you're not gonna be anything if you don't go to college. You're just gonna be broke. So going to school and then being able granted access into the corporate workplace. It was a cool thing. Doing what I want with my money, knowing that I'm gonna get money in 2 weeks, like it's a great thing.
Yeah.
Also say I just feel like
I just couldn't be. I couldn't. Could you? Were you motivated by it?
was I
Were you good at it? How about that? Were you good at it?
was I good at my corporate job?
Yeah.
The definition of good, like was I good at the job that I did until I wasn't?
Yeah, man.
like eventually, yes, because of my mind and because of the way that I am and because I can't do the same thing every day, I get bored and I end up having to switch jobs, which, I come from a generation too where we saw that. We all graduated and then we all started job hopping and everyone was like, what's going on? But you still needed bodies, right? So you still hired us.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I didn't think I was. It's kind of like. Yeah, so I could be doing more. Like I could do more. And this is things like I'm teaching, I'm working with kids, I'm doing stuff that's meaningful, and I'll do good. But it's like I can always do more. I can climb more. I was a management consultant for an org for 3 years. 3 years, same position, different tech, projects and building my skill set, and it was cool because it was different. It was always different sort of work, but I wasn't staying till 7 o'clock. I wasn't like when I put the work up. That was it. I didn't have that in me to. When I got home, I was working on music. I was doing that. Like as soon as I got home, I could what I'm doing. So like, yeah, I just didn't think I was that good. People say I was good, like I was cool, or whatever, but I wasn't happy because I didn't feel like I was doing a good job.
You were a body and a body was necessary. I say the
You know?
same thing. I did not have the capacity to stay at a job for 3 years. To be honest, I think I got to two and some change, and I had to go. But it was like, for me, and maybe it's like that for other entrepreneurs. It's they're doing the same thing, and I was presented. So I worked in digital marketing just across the board, right? So they'll, place you, or you can choose different verticals. So it's like, oh, I'm bored of, I don't know, consumer packaged goods. I'm gonna move on to, I don't know, entertainment like movies and Fandango and stuff like that. So there was like excitement there, but at the end of the day, it's still the same skill set. I'm not learning particularly new skills. I might be learning about a new vertical or a new industry, but that wasn't it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. I'm trying to make sure my cars.
But
Oh, I got 17 minutes. Cool.
okay.
I'm gonna extend it. How long? It's 4:48. Like how long have we been?
I think we started like 3:30, so
Oh
this is what
wow.
I was talking about when I was like, I don't know how we're gonna make it through a whole thing.
We're gonna have to edit, which is what we didn't want to do. But 55 minutes. You think that's enough to extend it?
Yeah, we got this place till 6, so.
No, I mean I'm just thinking ticket wise.
Oh, what do you mean? Oh yeah, ticket wise, yeah.
55 minutes.
If we doing
for a walk, I need to do more than 55 minutes.
It's whatever you think. Do you think that parking's gonna be available or like what?
Where is it?
It's off Chestnut and Sutton.
Let's see what they charge me if I move it to 3 hours.
But
Wow, no, I'm not doing that. Yeah, we'll move it. We'll move it.
okay.
Just make it 55,
But what are you talking about?
35.
Yeah.
What
So
were we
I
talking
think
about?
so yeah. So I think as you know now an entrepreneur, and I say now, but I feel like I've always been one in some way, shape, or form. I'm always doing something else. You're always doing something else,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I feel like maybe we don't have the capacity to be able to sit there and because I wanted to, like in my head or maybe my heart, I really wanted to climb the ladder. Like that was my goal. Like they were like trying to fit me in different places or whatever that I could feel like
Mm-hmm.
I'm being stretched more. But I'm sitting there every day looking at everybody. Been here for 10 years, same spot. Like
Mm-hmm.
I know y'all not gonna let me. Like I'm looking at the organization, right? The management. I don't see anybody black. First of all, in a management role, and as for women, I don't see anyone at the executive position. So I don't
Well,
really know where this place for me.
yeah, but I don't know. I think you could have gone. I think that's almost the same mentality as the artist. Like, it's so
No,
hard to
it's
make
not
it.
because the difference is do I want to be there? Why do I
Right.
want to be the
Well, let's
only
say,
black woman
yeah, yeah,
executive
yeah.
in the
I
company?
thought you were saying you didn't think you could make it because you didn't see any,
I
which
mean, I
is
could
real.
if I worked my ass off and it was a
Right.
strong,
Right.
black. Well, why the fuck? What, sorry. Why would
Yeah.
I do that?
I think that's it. Like, I can say a bunch of things like, oh, it wasn't fulfilling or anything. I just wasn't that good at it, and I don't like doing things that I don't feel good at for a long time. If I don't feel like putting the work into it, you
Mm-hmm.
know. I didn't start as a producer. I didn't start out as a great producer, but I wanted to be, and I'm willing to work on beats until 3 o'clock in the morning
Mm-hmm.
every night to be a better producer. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was like music was the thing that makes me happy and I want to do. So it's like, all right, you want to do that full time? Okay, I can't just sit around and make beats all day. And that's what we're trying to say. And that's what we try to teach. As a creative entrepreneur, you have to build your skills up. Um, so I was looking at something today, just talking about marketing. He was like, all right, you can't just keep saying I'm a music producer who is has an Instagram page. It's like you're a content creator who makes music. Is a
Mm-hmm.
mentality first, because like you got to know, you're making the music, but you got to market it, and they're calling that's the word is content.
I'm gonna challenge that, right? Always trying to expand the myopic thinking. I read somewhere it's like content creator is actually a little insulting. You are a filmmaker, because at the end of the day, you're making all these mini films. You have all the skill set to be a filmmaker. If you're editing your video or doing your own video, that is literally a short film. So content creator is something that I'm trying to move away from because it sounds like you can charge me less.
So you say you're a filmmaker who makes music.
I'm a filmmaker. No,
Because his whole thing was like, don't say you're a musician, but like you're a content creator who is promoting your music, like who makes music. But it was just basically saying don't be afraid to wear those other hats. Learn it unless you got a lot of money. Either you got money and you can pay someone to do these things and put you on in terms of you're
mm-hmm.
paying for placements, you're paying for playlists, you're paying for video, you're paying for people to come market you and creative direct your stuff, or you have to get good at learning those skills yourself. You have to, um, whether that be uh, get consistent and have a plan about creating content, upgrading your camera, learning how to edit the stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and Premiere, whatever. Edit your photos too. Like
Mm-hmm.
figure out what you're not just. And I don't know. Maybe you are just posting and you're just that cool that everything you post is just fire. But like maybe it's also putting some thought. I want people to see me as a fashionable person. I want people to come to me for my feedback
Mm-hmm.
on shoes. So you should probably start occasionally jumping on your story and talking about shoes or the things that you want to be and do and be good at and be known for and have people come to you for. There's got to be a way that you're letting people know you do that.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, like, I think a lot of people get hung up on the like what I want to be or like the niche type thinking or da 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 da. I think like for real, some of the best advice that I've heard is, or that at least resonated with me, is just start. You don't
Hmm.
need to know what brand partnerships you want and blah 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 blah. What you need to do is you need to post or you need to talk about things that resonate with you because they're probably going to resonate with somebody else. And through trial and error, you're going to narrow it down. But you can spend all day in your head thinking about what's gonna work, what's
Oh
not
yeah,
gonna
don't
work.
play it safe.
Mhm.
Don't play it safe,
And
because
it's
you
the
see
internet.
that.
It's not real.
Yeah, I think our next segment we're going to talk about a couple. We're going to talk about just music. We usually have a guest and we talk about their music. We don't have a guest for this episode, so we're just going to talk about um, an artist that we're listening to and talk about their music. But I think that's what these people have in common is like there's something unique about their voice or their music or their personality or their stance. If you're just on here making safe comments, people are gonna know you. If you could hop up there in your story, your first thing or your post says, "I don't fuck with Michael Jackson's music," like all of a sudden, it's if that's really how you feel, a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh man, trash. He doesn't know music. How's he gonna speak on music?" But there's a lot of people out there who probably, I think you sent me something about someone saying that,
Mhm.
really don't fuck with Michael Jackson's music, and
Language.
oh, we can edit it out,
Oh, so I'm just gonna do a whole bunch of beeps.
just like two
Well, don't make me
people would
edit a
don't.
whole bunch of
All
stuff
right, well,
out.
people who don't mess with Michael Jackson's music, it didn't say it got to be edited. We don't maybe put that, but
Uh,
well, let me restate that. Okay, if you say I don't mess with Michael Jackson's music, and that's really how you feel, it's a bold statement, and it's something that people will remember, and it's not something everyone's doing. If you just come out and say, I don't know, and it doesn't have to be negative. That's a negative type of thing, but it's unique, right? I'm saying all that to say it's posting, it's trying stuff, and it's being yourself because it's very hard. Because you might think, oh, I don't want to say that because people are going to discredit my music taste.
you should
And
say everything, honestly, all the things that you think people are going to judge you for in a bad way, just lead with it.
yeah, it's more because when more people talk, that's what we care about. That's
And
what
at
you'll
least we
stop.
know who you are.
You'd be like, he doesn't like Michael Jackson. Hold on, let me listen to this dude's music. That's what I would do. It's like, all right, you criticizing, and I'm not the biggest Michael
Yeah.
Jackson fan either.
I'm not like, I mean, the cultural icon, like, I don't think you, for me, I don't really think you get like a say on whether you like or dislike. It's a cultural icon.
No, he's an icon, but I personally, with the music, I like Man in the Mirror.
Mm-hmm.
I like Billie Jean. No, I like Billie Jean's alright.
Wilderness.
I like Smooth Criminal. I like Smooth Criminal.
So it sounds like you like a good amount of
I
Michael
probably like
Jackson songs.
five, so, and then classic. Like obviously, you know.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm free. Is it the Christmas?
Which one?
Merry Christmas with Jackson. The Jackson Five. I like a lot more of those. All right, so I can't hate, but like
You
I,
sound like you like just about every other song that everybody else who likes Michael Jackson likes.
I like 6 songs of Michael Jackson's.
Most
Most
people
people like.
know more than
That's
six
not true.
songs.
That's not true.
People, how many
Yes,
songs do people know like of a
at least
Michael
10.
Jackson? Not know, but
At
like
least 10.
actively put it on their playlist. 10.
Thriller. Oh, actively put it on their
Like
playlist.
something that they'd like. When I'm talking about something I like, it's like I'll put it. I'll play it because I feel like listening to it
Jam.
today.
Jam.
Mhm.
Oh, you know it.
I don't think that would be on everybody's.
That would be on mine.
Okay.
Well, anyway,
Well, so
all
you
that
sound
to
like a
say,
fan.
yeah. So bad example, but point is, state your mind
Mhm.
and just do it. And it's that's one thing, but also, yeah. I don't think there's a frequency. For a while, it was like, beat the algorithm, post every day. They're saying now that's not it. I don't want to, don't quote me because I haven't done my latest algorithm research, but they were saying like the quality now is most important. Like,
It's always been. It's always been like from like God, as early as I can remember, like being in college and talking to my friend and us talk at this time, right? I'm fully invested in dance. Rugrat just became a person, so I'm talking to my friend about like, oh, how are we gonna blow up on Instagram or whatever. And it's like it's the quality. He's turning to me and it's like, well, it's the quality, and you got an Android, so Instagram's always been about stunning.
hmm
Always. Facebook, is family and friends, and TikTok, is where you can be your most natural self, I would say, without too much backlash. Something about Instagram, you can say something wild on TikTok, and everyone's up in an uproar for a second, and then they forget about it. Instagram is like almost like the Twitter, like now it's receipts, like
Unless you're Kanye. Kanye uses his Instagram like it's Twitter or
yeah.
anything.
But because he's probably flipping back and forth between the two, for that's how it seems.
Yeah, like Instagram is supposed to be image based, but he'll certainly put a text message that he screenshot or he just write a message in the phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess time wise, I really went by quick. I hope you'll be able to share some. Okay, real quick though,
Is that it? Is that we're just ending it
promotionally, no,
or?
we still got to talk about the artist. But I was gonna
Okay.
say, oh,
Uh-huh.
go ahead,
Go
you got
ahead.
it.
No, go ahead. I'm moving on.
I was gonna ask advice then. So we kind of gave it to him. Maybe give it to him in the three things. So what four things? Or I don't want to say I'm not gonna list it. But if you're an independent artist and you're trying to make it in 2024,
Mm-hmm.
what advice would you give, or like you give to the students we work with? I'm a music producer and I'm an artist, and I want to make it. What advice would you give?
Number one, the biggest, most important thing is make sure that your music is high quality. Cannot emphasize that enough. How can you make sure that your music is high quality? One, work hard on it, and two,
Get it mixed,
I mean, get it
or
mixed. You
learn
can
how to
do it
mix it.
yourself, but like, let other people listen to it and tell you.
Mhm.
Now, make sure that your skin is thick, right? Like, don't just change your whole song because somebody said, "Oh, I like the hook better if it be this," and you're not really feeling that way. But listen to the feedback, and people will let you know, even in their body language,
Mhm.
whether this is high quality or not. Even if they don't like it, a good person will be like, "Oh, not really my thing or whatever, but it sounds up to par with so and so and so and so."
Mhm.
Number one. Um, Number two, make sure that people are either pushed towards your music or pulled towards your music. That
Nah, you
doesn't,
gotta break that down because I don't know what that means.
yeah, so that doesn't
Sound
just
like.
mean distributing your music on, everything and hopefully somebody will find it. When I say you pushing your music, it's the same concept as selling CDs, right? But you might be doing it online. You might be doing it in person. But the pushing is the advocating for yourself. It's the active promotion of this is what my music is. To plan better.
Mhm. Yeah.
And those are the three things that I would say to make it. If you can do those three things in and you have 4 years, I don't see why not.
Mhm. You gonna ask me my my things?
Mm. What? My God. What are your three things
Well, I
to
don't want to
make it
say
in
three
music?
things. Is what would I tell
What
him?
would you say to make it in music?
Yeah, and this is what we say to the students. I would start same first one, make great music, but I would because you said and get feedback from people to kind of let you know that it's objectively good or not. I think it's important. I think you should mix your music or get it mixed. Listen to other things. So just from a sound quality, that's the objective thing, and only to a degree, right? Earl Sweatshirt songs sound his vocal is muddy. Like it can be an artistic choice to have it less modern, but in general, it should sound good just from a balance and mixing standpoint, which is more objective than the production itself. But otherwise, I think it should be different. And I think if you really believe in it, then keep doing it. Yeet. There's just so many artists who will tell you like they just did their Spotify, their SoundCloud drops, and they'll listen back to the songs now like, man, that was trash. But in the moment, I thought I was the hottest thing out, and that's important. Like, if you make something you're like, this is fire. Yes, get feedback from people. I would get feedback on the mix, or also you can see how people react. But just because they aren't feeling it doesn't mean it's hot. So you got to have that confidence. You got to know when you make something and you're like, I know that this is good. I like this. Or if it was just an expression, you might not know. It might not be so sure because, right, sometimes there are a lot of stories where artists will release songs and the song they thought would hit wasn't the one that hit. But because there will be times that you play songs for people, and it's so rare that music taste is the same because music is so subjective. Like there's songs. I saw like a Venn diagram. It was like songs that I like, songs my friends like, songs that make money, and then songs that I make. And like they're just over here. So
On an island by itself.
yeah, yeah. So I think it's just like you gotta, you want to be different, whatever that means. Yeah, that you use people as references and start, but like you should not be sounding just like everyone else. So make good music. I think diversify your income again. So learn the business, learn a lot of different skills because it is probably going to be a while that you are not making a ton of money
Mhm.
because you're building up your resources and building up your skills. So you need to learn how to do different things in the meantime. Don't can't just rely on that check, on
Mhm.
that music check from the jump because it's seasonal too. You might get a bunch of gigs, and a lot of if you're a producer, a lot of people want your sound one year, and the next year the sound switches, and you got to, So it's
Mhm.
always something that I would make sure I'm developing multiple streams, even if it's within the music. So I might be a producer. I might also make songs that are going on streaming. Like responding to sync prompts, so songs for
Mhm.
TV, songs for video games. I might sell sound packs. I might make VSTs, like make
Mhm.
certain sounds that I can sell to a Splice or someone like that. So I might DJ, but I would say if you're early, really make good music, focus on that craft, make unique sounding music, and have other stream of income. Sort of build your skills so that you can make money in other ways,
Mhm.
and then similar to like you said, like have track your business
Mhm.
piece, like get your LLC paperwork, because so you're able to tax things, you're able to be seen as a legitimate business. And then the fourth thing I said, like we said, but yeah, market all of that. So you've got the talent, you've got the sound, you got the business foundation. Find a way to get the music out in the world so people can hear it and be unique about that. I think, you know,
Mhm.
be artistic about your social media as well,
And I would say, right,
or
art.
whatever your marketing is.
Yeah, I'd say art is subjective, and marketing doesn't have to be on social media.
Right.
Um, right. So and I'll also say, with the making of different music, I'd argue with you on that one. I don't think your music has to be necessarily different. It does if you want to be iconic, but you can make money sounding essentially
Yeah.
the same as other people.
Yeah, yeah. If you're just doing sync licensing and that stuff like that, make a beach beat.
Mhm.
Sure.
Yeah. But everything I co-sign with that. On to the next. So,
Then we're gonna talk about our song later.
oh
Need
yeah,
them clips too.
oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, oh, so some things, and I just quickly, two things that we didn't talk about with making
You
it.
need to turn down. You think the echo's coming in here?
I don't think it can be that bad.
Okay.
I don't know
If it
how
is, who
bad.
cares?
Yeah.
Be like we're in a Superdome.
Doom 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 doom. Anyway, but yeah. So other things about making music in 2024, pay to play, and then we were gonna talk about two artists, as examples. So Jonathan's gonna go ahead and adjust that. Can you imagine you unplug it and it's just like, Hello, hello. Okay, we're good. Um, come back now. So the pay to play is something that I wanted to bring up, and it goes, kind of hand in hand with like music now versus back then. But with streaming, right, and social media, we have this new thing where regular people, not even companies, but yes, companies as well, are essentially paying to have the music heard by more people, which isn't a new concept, right? This is something that's always been around, but right now it's a little bit more accessible to all of us regular independent folks versus just the large record labels. Um, and it's also a thing that a lot of people complain about. Um, if I have to pay to have Spotify go ahead and push my music to other people, if I'm not paying, then what does that mean? Does that mean that my music might not have reached as many as it could have been because maybe they're saving that allotted slot for somebody who's paying for, what is it, the marquee or something like that? Same thing with social media and YouTube and stuff like that. If there is a paid version to get X amount of reach, then clearly somebody who didn't pay, shouldn't in theory be able to get that amount of reach organically. Otherwise, why would they be a paid version? And of course, people are upset about it and they talk about it. To which, if to me, yeah, sure, it's unfortunate and maybe it might be a little classist to say or privileged to say, but if you are not going to spend money on yourself, then who do you expect to spend money on? You.
Yeah, I think the pay to play model, it's, whatever, you can complain, but it is what it is. Again, those people got to make their money.
Mm-hmm.
And they did the work to become the leading streaming platform. And you don't have to do it. Like, that money, that pay to play is cool.
Some people
I
say you
paid
have to.
$100 for a song to be promoted in France, and it got like 300 plays in France, and that was $100. I'd argue that maybe that was s- needed, and maybe it wasn't. Like, I could have done just a really great job getting my social media to target people in France and spent no money, and it done
But
much more
how
than
would you
300
have? But
streams.
how would you have targeted people in France?
I don't know, man. Maybe my song is about baguettes. I don't know. I don't know, but there's got to be
Yeah.
a way. I'm sure there's a trend on the trend, and
But it's like
it's on
even if
TikTok maybe,
there's a trend in France, but what that got to do with your music?
and the music's part of my content. Like, again, I
Mm-hmm.
think, yeah, it's yeah, how you choose to do it. It's
Right, and I'm
Cardi B.
grilling you because it's like even to that point, right? If I were to make my music become popular in France or whatever, and I didn't go, the advertisement route or whatever, I'd still probably have to hit somebody up, and that person would probably charge me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're gonna pay for something, but it's just like anything, you know. You want to be a professional football player, you're gonna play AAU, right? You're gonna pay for someone to make your highlight tape, probably, and send that out to the colleges to get picked up. Like, there's just no, and I think it's an energy exchange too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to put money behind this thing. That's kind of showing I'm taking this seriously. If you really saying you're an independent artist and have a problem with putting money up for anything,
Mm-hmm.
and I get it if you're not making money, in that case, you need another job to
Mm-hmm.
support your. Yeah, I think as Russell said, something like that. It was like your 9 to 5 is your first investor
Mm-hmm.
into your music career. Now, like, you can't spend that whole 9 to 5 check on whatever. You need to say, all right, this percentage of this is going toward my music until I start making the songs and enough other streams of income that I can fully focus on music. And I would say that's something to be careful about too. Like, because you might, when I said to have multiple streams, you might want all those streams to be tied to music, or you might want music to be one stream and then your other streams, 1, 2, 3 streams, are something completely else.
Yep.
You might sell herbs. You might sell shirts. You might be a notary. You might
Mm-hmm.
drive Uber.
Money.
You might be a bartender.
Yep.
Like, I don't know what it is, but I think it's tough sometimes if all of your streams are coming from the thing you do creatively. Because if I'm a producer and I'm producing this podcast as well, what I really want to do is make music, my music, but I'm also responding to all these sync prompts and making
Mhm.
beats for video games and making beats for these shows. And by the time I sit down to make my music, my
Yep.
creativity might be tapped out. So I think sometimes if you're doing this creative entrepreneurship thing, your other streams of income like not be creative at all. And your
Mhm.
goal is to push more into that space. But for me, I want to be making the money from the creations that I want to make. I'll do a brand partnership. I'll collaborate with artists. I'll collaborate with the show if it's the right show. Ask me, what is it, Jordan Peele? Ask me to score one of his movies or
Mhm.
Black Panther or like what
Mhm.
Beyonce do, The Lion King. I'll do something like that
Mhm.
for sure. Something that's fun. But that's the goal. So like I'll have my other streams working toward that while you build it up, and it puts less. Yeah, man. Because even that, I don't want to work on music 12 hours a day right now. That's just
Yeah,
real.
and right, it's finding that balance too. Cause I'm in the same boat where I feel like I could be working on music more often.
And we work 12 hours a day, but we're not working on
Yeah,
music 12 hours a day.
yeah. So it's like when people talk, yeah, it's an interesting mix. But even to that point, I was gonna
That's
say
the other piece of advice. Sorry that you're gonna work a lot early,
music is not gonna be where you're spending most of your time realistically.
but like working a 12-hour day is something you should be comfortable with. I think, unless you're just a superstar. And I'm not praising work culture, but I'm saying I think to get your talents up that way, unless you have money again and you're paying people to edit videos and you're paying people to mix your songs. Working.
I say something to that, and
Well,
I'd say, yeah. First of all, the working is in air quotes, and to that, I will say it depends on who you are. Like if you're this person that can grind 12 hours a day, 5, 7 days a week, that's great. And I think a lot of people say that, and I'm nobody to say nothing to nothing. You know, there are also people out there that work, and I'm advocating for myself in seasons, right? So it's like if you can work 16 hours a day, but realistically grind super hard for like 3 or 4 months, batch up all the content that you need necessary so that you can like still working, you're still gonna work,
yeah,
but
you're taking
but
breaks.
coast and only work 8 hours,
Yeah,
right? Or spend more time on the music now than ever before because you've batched up all this content, all this edits for you to be able to do that.
yeah, you're taking breaks. Someone we work with, Piff Marty, says the same thing. Like he says, he used to get hard on himself for not being. He's like, I'm gonna do this consistently, and then when he would stop, really get down on himself, like, oh, you messed up, you failed. But now he celebrates it as like, look, this is this season, and
Mhm.
this season, yeah, I fell off, and it's fine. I'm just gonna sit here and play video games for 3 days, or
Mhm.
I'm not gonna do this at all because I'm kind of getting a little burned on this side.
Mhm.
And as an independent artist, you got to figure that out and be cool with that. Don't bring yourself out.
Mhm.
Figure and don't be hard on yourself. You got to be positive thinking about all of it because the time you spend away from the music that I found too is like you always come back better. You get inspired. You go out, you experience life, and then when you come back to the music, it's gonna be that much better.
Mhm.
So taking those breaks is important.
And I forget which artist it was. It might have been like Rihanna or something like that who said it was like, but probably not her because she didn't drop something like that. But it's like when you are, you drop an album and then you tour or whatever, and then people expect you to drop another album or something like that immediately after, and it's like I didn't actually live life, so I don't have anything to talk about right now. I've just been working. Like, do you like what exactly am I supposed to? How am I supposed? I haven't even been tapped into my own emotions for this past year. Um, and I think it's also important to just have multiple streams of income. Um, for that reason, if I'm burnt out on the production end, I'm writing. If
Hmm.
I'm burnt out from writing, I'm editing. If
Hmm.
I'm burnt out from editing, I'm brainstorming for the next music video, the next interview, the next da, 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 da. Like I should be able to be like, I can't do this, I can't do that. Well, there's something I can do, right?
And editing is what she should be doing a lot of, more of.
See, and everything in seasons, because now I'm doing the editing, right?
And
And
work
when
with
I burn
people.
out from
Work with
that, I'll
people.
be working on the music.
and work with people that you get along with. We don't always get along. I'm sitting here saying you need to work, you need to produce, and that sort of thing, and you should probably say, man, I'm work with somebody else who could do that themselves. But yeah, it's good and bad, right? You need all of it, I guess.
That's
But
yeah. Having a team is important. I'd say when it comes to the editing of like the videos and stuff like that, that's me.
a team of people who are on the same page too. Don't try to pull people along.
Yeah.
People who want this thing as bad as you or are
Yep.
willing to
Or
support you. Either they want to make it themselves too, like you, or they really believe in what they see and it's like, yo, I like this art and I want to be the visual.
yeah.
I want to be the, who is it, Krayshawn to Lil B?
Yeah.
She would shoot his videos. They're both,
Mhm. They
two,
gotta want it for themselves. You
yeah,
can't have people on a team that are just like, I see the vision in you. No, that means that you see me in your vision, and that got my vision got nothing to do with that.
oh
Like,
yeah.
if I was nowhere near you, would you still be doing this thing? You know
Mhm,
what I'm saying?
mhm.
Um, but yeah, let's move on to the next thing.
The artist.
Yeah, so we got Tizo. I was gonna talk about JP, but I think I'm gonna talk about what's her name, Tanner.
So we want, this segment of the show, we either usually interview artists, talk about an artist, or talk about an album, or if we have a guest who's not an artist, talk about a piece of music. So for this first episode, we're just going to talk about an artist that we like that is, I guess, technically either up and coming, just not like commercially huge, but they might be. I don't know. I'm gonna say
I mean,
Tizo, and he's
yeah,
might as well be.
Tizo's pretty commercially huge, but I wouldn't say that he's like, you know, internationally known.
Oh yeah.
Well, to a degree, but not like, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah. So you are the Tizo expert
Tizo.
of sorts. Let us know about his rise
Um,
to fame.
I just like him a lot as an artist. I like his sound. I saw him. Oh no, my friend Elijah, who's also a board member on our board. Um, and the earlier thing, we're working a lot of the time. We are doing that. We're writing grants, we're recruiting students, we're teaching, we're doing our curriculum. That's what we're doing outside of the music a lot of the times in the daytime. Elijah's on our board. He put me on to Tizo Touchdown actually, and it was one of his videos that he was shooting in this outside space. I think they called it the garage. But he had the nails in his hair. It was an interesting video shoot. The song was cool, and we just went through like a little YouTube kind of. He played 3 songs, and after that, I was hooked. See him on Instagram, same thing. He's got a very clear brand. It's like yellow and black. He uses sticky notes for a lot of things. He really interacts with his fans, always asking questions and stuff like that. And I was just really interested in him as a person and his music, which was genreless. While earlier I was saying make music that sounds different or whatever, like, and some people be like, oh, you make it in a genre, like be specific, be in a certain lane, but he wasn't any lane. The only thing similar between his songs was his voice, and even that sort of changed. So it was just I really liked what he was doing, and everyone got on. Like he's on everyone's album. He's on Yachty's album. He's on Travis Scott's album. He's on Drake's album. All these people are co-signing it. And it's because he really marketed himself well. You see videos of him like 3 years ago, and it's just like anyone you see out here singing on the corner. It's like, and it's cool, and that's cool. But people are just walking by, like, I don't know. But he's like, I got an interesting sound. I'm an interesting person. Let me show this to the world. Through his series of videos, and yeah, it made me a fan. He had like a campaign called Rid the Mid off the streets. He had a hat. Like I ordered. No, I don't think I actually ordered the hat. I was going to. I think it was like $70. But yeah, so I really liked him. I like his music. His influences are like super uh, old R&B like groups only known in like Texas. It's just very. His influences are also unique in the sense that yeah, I like what he's doing. I like his stuff before the album. I liked his album; it was cool. I might like the stuff before the album more, but he's definitely the sky's the limit. It's refreshing music. Yeah.
And I just want to speak to that a little bit. You mentioned, right, the music being a blend of everything, or a
song. But then when we looked further into the song, we see Sexy Red and we listen to the interviews. It's like a whole vibe. Like this is a whole person and movement that I'm interested in. And it's like she's putting herself. She's everywhere. I think.
I mean, I think part of that, right? You have to be authentic, so that you
Yeah.
can be able to deliver this consistent
The
story.
authenticity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Otherwise, we're gonna know. I think Sexy Red, though. I think she, my perception, and I have no actual clue, but it seems like, she had different from Tizo. She had a lot of people with eyes on her, and it felt like, I want to say not a homegrown production, but earlier on, I feel like, and I don't know, I don't really know her whole history, but like she got put on a little bit more
Okay.
so in terms of the pushing, right? Whereas
You saying she's a plant?
No, not at all.
Oh.
No. But I'm saying that once they discovered that she was there, yeah, they put money
Okay.
behind her. I would say I would categorize Sexy Red as a push and Tizo as a pull.
Got it.
Right? Like I gotta be intrigued by Tizo. Sexy's all in my face. She's everywhere.
Yeah, I see that.
But yeah, I'd say so. I brought Tanner Adele to the table. She is a country trap, country pop star. I'm at the mini bar in my mini skirt. Na 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 na. She got that one song that people know. Probably came out about 2 years ago or a year ago.
That's Buckle Bunny.
I'm a Buckle Bunny. Yeah. So.
My son likes that.
Yeah.
Hmm
I love this.
He requested.
I loved it when it first came out. Probably came out either between a year or 2 years ago, and I found it on TikTok. And for me, it was just like, first of all, the quality of the music, the hook was great. I had no clue what a Buckle Bunny was, but like I was like,
Is it like what is it? Is it like a snow bunny, but like you like your girl who likes cowboy stuff?
I think it's just a person who goes to rodeos. It's just a chick that like hangs out at rodeos, likes how what do they call? I don't know. People at raves who just go to raves all the time. What do they call them? I don't know.
Oh yeah, rave fairy, festival fairy. I don't know
But it's
anything.
something like that. Just the type of person that's always
Yeah.
to rodeos and stuff. So it was different than what I had thought it was. So there's that. But I think that hook being such a off thing, like I'm sure most people who heard the song for the first time was like, "What's up, Buckle Bunny?" So now we're up here looking at it, and it was on TikTok. It was getting a lot of traction. The quality of the product was super great, and as for having a black person, right, in quote unquote country, a young black woman.
You gotta tell me she was black. I didn't know she was black. She's passing, I would say.
I think
But maybe that's needed.
Wow, you think she's passing? She's so black, like looking.
So black looking. Oh yeah, features wise, kind of she could be big. I don't know, man. She's fair skinned and blonde hair.
I mean,
I just didn't know when I first saw it. You told me, and I was like, oh yeah. And I probably, if I watched up close, I would have known. But it certainly wasn't like a.
oh, you're saying that you think she's mixed? I mean, yeah, she.
No, I'm just saying like I just didn't. Yeah, she could pass. Back in the day.
Back in the day.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I just didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it was like this why, and at the time I was ignorant to black people, around making it in country these days anyway. Outside of like folk artists, I'm really not. I don't know a lot about country like that.
People will come in the comments like, "Oh, you don't know about Billy Bo DeVoe, who started country in Alabama."
I do know, as for
know your roots.
these days, I know one other chick. She sports red hair typically. I forget her name, but she's also great, a country artist. She's dark skinned though.
I mean, was Tracy Chapman country?
I consider, and I'm no expert, but
Folk.
yes.
I think she did win a country album now.
Yeah.
A Grammy for one song.
She hasn't won a Grammy, or did she just recently?
Maybe I'm making that up.
I think
She was at least nominated.
Some sort of recognition.
Okay. Or maybe she performed at the Country Music Awards
I think
first.
she performed at the Grammys or whatever, and everyone was like, "Thank God she got the recognition she deserved, and I was like, is it? Classic.
Yeah.
But anyway, so right, so I think for me it was like just the hook being a different thing, right? What's a buckle bunny? Introducing me to a completely new term. Honestly, just gorgeous, gorgeous girl. Um, that's just gonna get you likes. Just being honest, pretty privilege is a real, real thing. Um, being black in country, it's like, whoa, what kind of music are you making? Trap country, da 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 da. So she released that single, and uh, probably like 2 months to a year later, she actually released her album or EP, which is interesting because nowadays people release like single after single after single, and then after they've had like 14 singles, then they'll work on their first project. But she released her album. I listened to it. Um, I'd say I liked about, I think it was like 50% or 60% of it,
Mm-hmm.
which is, pretty high for me for somebody who says that they don't particularly like country. Um, and yeah, man, I think for her specifically, she came at a great time. Right now, she has the ability to ride on the Beyonce coattails a little bit, even though technically she might have been doing it first or whatever. But people are already comparing her complexion wise, hair wise, and now they're both doing country to a Beyonce.
And she mentions Beyonce in her song. My son says that. She says something Beyonce. He's like, why did she say Beyonce?
She says something like I'm the country. What she say? I'm the different version of Beyonce or something like that.
Yeah.
I forget what it is. But yeah, so I think that for her, a lot of it has to do with her being in a genre where she probably isn't typically in, or people that look like her isn't typically in.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, pretty privilege is real, and prettiness is rooted in anti-blackness, and at least here. And she's light skinned.
Yeah. I was just, yeah. It plays into the, at least, at the country show, you got the cowboy hat, the long blonde hair. Then you have, it's like, it could be, who's up there? She might just have a tan. But yeah, it don't really matter. But cool. So check them out. Yeah. Tizo is big. I should have done, yeah. I could have for real talked about Calera another time, next time. Yeah. But check that out, Calera.
Let's see. What else we got here?
Our album.
Yeah. We can end with that. Our album. What album?
So what are you working on? Because we don't have guests. So normally I would go, what did you most recent? What are you working on? What's your recent projects? What you gonna push?
Preface, we haven't. This is the first one. Not that we have no clue how it's gonna go, but we might have a guest. We might not.
Oh,
We might do this.
I want to
segment,
guess.
We might not. The segments can change and the topics can change.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to set the precedence that it's gonna be a surprise. So tune in. What am I working on? I'm working on an EP, and I'm gonna be working on this EP for a long time because it's been a minute since I've touched.
Didn't you just drop a song? Tell us about that.
Did I just drop a song?
Yeah, we dropped the song. We just dropped the song. BAN, right? So I want to ask you some things about that, specifically your verse on BAN. What was the inspiration? You kind of start with the first line. I like the prettiest things. What's that come from?
I think the inspiration was the beat. For me personally, it reminded me of "Hey Arnold" by Rico Nasty. So I was like, okay, this is like sugar trap, like da 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 da. Felt very right. Sugar trap to me is like pretty trap, like pretty girl trap. So that's the inspiration. I like the prettiest things. Not your pretty inner being. I'm just pretty in the thing. He's just pretty in the thing.
All these, okay, yeah.
All these.
Well, it's cool. It's funny, like the story behind it. So we producers and artists. That beat I made, and Rugrat came in, and as I was making it, I think, uh, you know, came into the room and was like, "Oh, I want that. I like that. I want that."
Hell yeah.
You know, And I was like, oh yeah, yeah, you feeling it? You feeling it? And I was making a beat off of Kodak Black Loudy. Like I was biting the drums from that, and starting as inspiration, and it just turned into something completely different, which often happens. So you said Sugar Trap, and he's like, all right, cool, cool. And at first, I feel like there was some beef because you were like, you wanted to take the song uh,
Oh yeah.
and
So
make it with a group of people, and I was like, but I want to make the song,
I think at this point in time, though, we were heavy on it. We're trying to work with other people. We're trying to, expand or da 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 da.
which is important.
Which is important, but anyway, I had no right to go ahead and take JN's beat like that.
No, but I gave it to you, and then I tried to take it back. I was like, yeah, yeah, take it. And then like I think I was listening to it, and I started doing a verse. I was like, oh, wait a minute, I want trying to be on this. And she was like, you can't. They were like, you can't be on it.
Mhm.
I already got plans for this. I got this other artist and blah blah blah. And so then we kind of beefed, and I was like, well, we'll make two versions.
Yeah. It was the hardest version.
And the
But
artist, an artist they went to play it for was like not feeling it. So then I was
yeah,
like, look,
the artist was not feeling it, but also didn't reply.
oh yeah,
So if you are a music artist and you were talking to producers, like, please just like communicate.
that's how I feel. But you don't have to.
And
I might be old school.
it might be old school, but like, why leave things open ended? If you don't like something, just say it. You know what I mean? And
I do.
everybody got things going on in their life, but what that tells me is just no, not upset or anything like that. But if I send something to you, I'm probably not gonna get feedback. And
Yeah, people. I have a problem with that, and people. You've told me that that's not right. Like I shouldn't hold other people accountable. But yeah, man, if I text you something or I ask you a question, it'd be one thing if I said something you didn't care about. And I have a friend who like even in real life, if you say something he doesn't care about, he might just not respond, and that's him, and that's fine. But generally, if I say, "Hey, what you think about this beat?" or "Hey, you want to work on this?" or "Hey, something like any question," "Hey, I was interested in something,"
mhm,
and you just look at it and don't say something,
mhm.
to me that's rude. That's kind of, and I get it. Not everyone's, entitled. Not everyone has to respond to you.
And
People
that's
have their
fine.
own
So
things going
I
on.
don't
But I
have to
take
do
it.
anything anymore then. You know what I'm saying? You've set the precedence of I don't need to respond, so I can set the boundary of what I don't need to work with you.
Yeah, it's like I'm not acknowledging you as a person, and I
Mhm.
take it personally because I'm like, do you know who I am?
Mhm. I
Not even
take
like
it.
an ego thing, but like, you're just gonna.
Yeah.
If I send you a message, if I say something, don't just look at it, and you know what I mean.
I don't take it personally. I take it as you're not ready to work because there's plenty of times that I've been sent beats and I was just like, I don't like it or I can't see myself
Well, did you
on
say
this.
that, or you just looked
I
at it?
said that.
Okay, well, that's what I
So
mean. That's
why?
cool.
Because I'm ready to work.
Uh,
You know what I mean? I'm saying that in hopes, not even in hopes of anything, but I'm working, so I'm responding. Can you imagine going to your job and not responding to the email?
yeah, I mean,
You're not working anymore. Like,
hmm
not here.
yeah, not to someone you don't respect. You don't got time. If it's a sales, and maybe that's
Hmm.
maybe something might feel with the sale, but I'm talking about people that we're all in the same um, ecosystem, and all that. So
Music
yeah.
artists and music producers, like I feel this way. You these are your coworkers, right? Yeah, we all cool, we all friends or whatever, but ultimately we're coworkers because I'm here to make money. I'm here to express myself, but I'm here to make money.
It's coworkers is also competition in some ways. Like, we're coworkers. We're also competing. Like, not from like, oh, we're competing over this scarce amount of money. No, there's enough money for everyone. But competition, and I want to be the best. Like, that was cool. I saw you do something cool. Watch me do something better. Like, and it's not driven just by that, but yeah, man, you want to be the best at what you're doing. One of the best. You want to be in the conversations, and other people doing great stuff kind of levels that up. But cool. So that's
Thank
how
you.
the beat started. Oh, go ahead.
I
I'm
didn't say
talking about the
anything. Go
song.
ahead.
Um, yeah. So pretty things.
Yeah, so that ended up happening and whatever. I think yeah, I reached out to someone, they didn't respond back. So after a while, it was kind of like, what about the person that you were gonna reach out to? Did you reach out to them or
Yeah, they're ready to go.
they were ready to go?
They're ready to go.
Who was it?
I think it was Golden Ivy.
Um,
Yep.
well, it didn't happen, and
Well, cause then
so
they're like, well, let's just do one version, and yeah, we did, and I think Golden Ivy would have been great on it, but it was just something that we did it. We had the two verses, And it wasn't until Rug heard my verse that they were like, "Oh, okay, we can do this.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's good enough. That's fine."
I think I wanted like only girls on the track. I was like, no boys allowed.
Yeah. And that's something, as a producer too, get good at that, making beats for people. You don't got to be on every beat, but but if you feel so inspired, you
Yeah,
got first dub. So
for sure, for sure.
it was fun. It was fun. It's definitely a moment in time. Definitely, going to be. We have a lot of collabs that we have to finish. That really just came from that. It wasn't like us coming down saying we're gonna make a song about pretty things, or we're gonna make a.
Mhm.
It was just like, here's the beat. You start rapping. All right, can we make a song out of this? Cool. Because after that, we had two verses and no hook, and we just played it. And we just came out the hook. I got to do bands like BAN. What does BAN mean?
Why are you asking me? You know that we're not gonna say it.
Yeah, yeah. So
Figure it out at home. Let us know if you know the answer.
yeah.
Um,
So stay tuned for that.
well, I wanted to share about the music video.
Okay.
I want to share that little piece. So, we were at the mall. It was me, you, and your son. And should I say that part or?
Yeah, you can edit it out
Okay.
later.
So we were at the mall, and I had this vision, right, of a pink car. We were just kind of like sitting in the car in the back of the parking lot, and all of a sudden I turned.
Just chilling because my son was asleep.
Mhm.
Going to the mall on Sundays is something that you know sometimes we'll do because in the wintertime it's a place that he can run around.
Mhm.
Uh, he likes interacting with a lot of people. He likes the food court. But often falls asleep on the drive out there. So we get out there and he's asleep in the car.
Mhm.
Um, Rug's just coming along for the ride to find some clothes.
Mhm.
And so we're chilling in the car because he's asleep. And like, we're going to let him get his hour and a half of sleep so that he's not grumpy in
Yep.
the store. And as we're chilling, that's when, you
Yeah.
know,
So I like turned into him and I was like, "Did you see that?" And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Did you see like it went by really quick. It was like a pink car." And
and I caught like the tail end. I
yeah,
caught like, as Rugrats explained that, I'm not like, no, I didn't see it because
yeah,
I thought I saw something, but like not to the full degree.
it was
It was like
so
a pink
fast.
flash that I was like, oh yeah, was that what it was?
Yeah,
Like I didn't think twice of it.
it was ridiculously fast. Like it was very hard to see. So yeah, so had that right, that little shared vision. Next thing you know, we walk into the store. I think I wanted some Auntie Anne's. Marley wanted some Auntie Anne's, but you were like, no.
Auntie Aunt,
Auntie
Auntie
Anne's,
Aunt,
Auntie Anne. What did I say? Auntie Anne's,
Auntie Aunt. I didn't know what you're talking about. Auntie Anne's,
Auntie
pretzels,
Anne's, Auntie
Auntie
Anne's,
Annie, Auntie
Auntie
Annie.
Annie's.
I don't know. The pretzel spot.
So, so yeah, I wanted some. Marley wanted some, and you were all like, "Oh, let's go to the food court though." And I'm like, I don't know how we ended up, but we ended up getting the Auntie Annie's.
Yeah.
We ended up getting the pretzels, and right across from the pretzel was like this beautiful flower car, or no, where we sat down to eat the pretzel. Right across was this beautiful flower pink Barbie
You
display.
could probably just edit it in right there. Like put it in. Let them see it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Boom. You see that? It's
Um.
trippy.
Yeah. And it was like
Is this
the
real?
same car. I was like, what? Look at that. God. But yeah. So that's really the story behind that.
Oh, and nobody was there, so we're like,
Mhm.
eating, really sitting across from this thing. Marley's eating, I'm eating. So after we finish it, they go up and look at it. I'm still sitting back because I'm just like, chilling, enjoying my pretzel. Uh, and then they're like, oh, it's a display. Like you can take photos, you can get content at this car.
Mhm.
And so we walk back there to look. Like, is it a real BMW? It's like a little BMW.
Mhm.
With all the stuff. Like, did they drive it in? Does it drive? So we're looking at it behind the little thing because nobody's there, nobody's manning it to answer our questions. So like, should we could shoot a video here? This should be it, right? Because you saw the car, and here's the car, and I like the prettiest things. Up to that point, before that, what was the video gonna be? We did have an idea, didn't we?
Did we? What was it gonna
I
be?
forget. Maybe we didn't.
I think we had like vision and then seeing it, I was just like, I'd be a fool. I'd be a fool not to take this opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. And I want to say that wherever it goes from here, the model that I've been working off of, that I think we've been working off of, is right where luck is where hard work equals meets opportunity.
Yeah.
So,
So if you doing something you like pretty things, if you're doing something making you feel pretty, you put the song on, put it on your story. You know what I'm saying? Hook us up with that. But like that's the mentality it kind of gives. It's about looking good, but it's also about manifesting money. You know, I got these bands.
whoa.
You know what I mean? I got these funds. I went to the bank. They seen what I done. You was the man. Hey, like you was the one. Hey, yeah, run at these bands, run at these funds. Whoa, whoa. I run at these plans. Run at the. You know what I'm saying? So, just that. That was it, and it really came from a place of we didn't sit down and think about it. So, I guess that's God trying to give you all that message that you deserve pretty things, and you deserve money, and believe it. There it is, right? It's manifestation. You know what I'm saying?
Abundance and prosperity. But
And some other things in there that we won't talk about, but you gotta listen to it.
but it sounds like that. This name, real
My
name.
name is DJJ Ed, aka Jonathan, aka Plant Based Poppy, aka the White Gold Daddy, aka co-founder and CEO of Fan Frequency Productions.
And I go by Rugrat.
Oh, we should have said it right here, right?
Oh, and I go by Rugrat.
No, no,
Oh,
you should say it to that one. I think.
and I go by Rugrat. All the things above music artist. I'm just gonna say creative entrepreneur because everything goes under that, as well as CMO of Fan Frequency Productions. Stay tuned as we have more guests, more topics, more fire fits, more.
Oh, it's a fire fit. You want to tell us what you're wearing? Oh, you gonna stand up?
I'm a little embarrassed to say what I'm wearing. Not
Oh,
embarrassed,
well, don't say what it is.
but it's all pink everything. So I was just playing into the Barbie look. I think I'm gonna be doing this for a little bit of time. I switched over to black because it just feels like that era. I've always been blonde, white blonde.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to sharing more tips about the music industry and the landscape for independent artists now. Look at us, fanfrequencyproductions.org, Instagram at fanfrequencyphilly. Yeah, I don't know what else we gonna say. You want a little, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta come to me. I'm done with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I noticed in the video you were like, I'm like reaching for you as you stay
What
exactly
video?
where you needed to. The music video.
Oh yeah.
You're literally like you stay exactly where you are, and I'm like reaching on my last little.
Oh wow.
So you gotta meet me halfway.
Which video though?
The music video for this song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh cool. I
You
didn't.
mean oh cool?
Was that at the end?
Somewhere it's like in the at the end I guess.
I was just like that.
Yeah. From now on, if you're not meeting me halfway, then we're not doing it. Period.
You're like that.
I'm like.
All right. Well, thank you all. We gotta.